Welcome back to Valley Boys TCG. I'm CK, and here we are in the finals match of our locals. I've made it to the finals. I've managed to survive. It's only a 3-round. We're going to go in against Red Terrasaur here, and he starts off with Volcanic Canyon, getting his Nexus on board. We start with the Dark Lancer Cavalier, a great first card to go with when you're going second, because it gets you a card draw, one early card draw. And since he dropped the Nexus, we decided to go in with the aggro and swing in and end our turn. Now he's going to get to core up. He's got the canyon there so that he can get the extra draw. And Treshes, I believe it's a firewall. And here we see the Raptor come down, the Raptidon, and that was Scorched Battlefield. So he's got 2 Nexuses on board already. That's a really good start for him to get some sticky reduction on board. And then he's deciding what he's going to move his cores around to, and swings in with the Raptor. We take it. He gets the extra draw from the battlefield. And here we go. So he's got some great card cycling and draw engine already going on his end. And we have an okay go. We set a burst there. And I think we go with the Mordred here because he's got only 2 cores on the Raptor. So early Mordred might be the play here to remove it. And yep, there it is. Dark Knight Mordred comes down. We only leave 1 core on it because we don't need the next effect, since there's nothing on board to remove a core for him, except his on play to remove the Raptor. So here we got a good counter, and we can chip in for 2 more life if we want to. Leave him down to 2. If we want to go full aggro, it depends on what we have in hand. We do have a burst set, so I think the aggro is the right play, so we go ahead and swing it with Mordred. He decides to Burning Force my board immediately. And I remind him that only one of the cores is, or only one of my spirits is within range. He can only destroy the Mordred. So Mordred doesn't get to survive, and we leave the Lancer up to block. Just as a blocker in case he decides to get really aggro this turn, because with 2 Nexuses on board, he's got double reduction that'll stick for a bit. And looks like he trashes a Flame Rat? I think that's the Flame Rat. Here comes a Dragon Trooper for free. Those 2 Nexuses. Yeah, the early Nexus setup is very nice for this Terrasaur build here. A lot of reduction. Essentially, he can drop the Gigano Rex already, I believe, because he's gonna... Oh, he decides to trash his burst, which was a firewall, and he's realizing that I'm keeping my spirits above the threshold. So, deciding what he wants to do with his cores, if he wants to go in early with that Rex, and... Yep, it looks like he's going to go with the Rex, sacking one of his spirits just to get Rex out already. And since he does have only Terrasaur and Emperor Beast on board, it will be a level 3. And we decide to take the hit there. We block with the Cavalier, and then he swings in with the Dilf. We take the 1 chip of damage. That's okay because he only has 2 cores on the Rex, so if we have another Mordred in hand, it looks like we're going for the Mamira play. It's going to cost us a bit. It's going to be the full 4 cost, but it will remove the 1 core from the Dilf. And since it's an on play, he does have the Star Blessed, but that's kind of okay because he is removing cores to pay for it. So he's leaving his Rex with only 1 core on it. So we should have some core removal card here to help us deal with that Rex, get it out of there early, and I think we're just deciding. But it looks like, no, we're going with the Cavalier, actually, which is unusual, but to get the card draw in, I guess we're looking for something else. I feel like we should have removed... We should have done something to get rid of Rex. I think we had a core theft or a core drain in hand. And so we just double swing in, put him down to 2 life because he doesn't have any burst set, but we still do. But the burst is not going to help us at this point if we don't have the cores to pay for it. So we have to hope that he doesn't have too much, but here's the free Bearded Eagle coming down. Here's the Raptidon. So now here he goes wide. And he cores up his spirits. So it's not looking good for us right now. He's got 3. We have 3 life. He's got 3 attacks coming. We need to remove cores from something, or we need to delete one of his spirits somehow. We need to find a way to remove one to survive this because we have no blockers. And even if that is an ice shield there, I mean, we could play the ice shield without the effect, but here comes the Dino Man. Big Dino Man is now out, so the benefit of this situation though is if he thins out his cores to only one on every spirit, if that is a Bloody Rain that we have in Burst, that could save us here. But it's not looking too good, but let's see what he does. He does have Dino Rex to go first, or sorry, the Gigano Rex to go first, and it is the Bloody Rain. So Bloody Rain will remove a core from everything when it attacks. So actually, that will let us. Stop the Dino Man from attacking. Here, Raptidon can go in. We can take that. He removes the core. Here comes the Eagle, and we decide to pay to core theft the exhausted spirit, since it was exhausted while attacking, and so we just have to trash two. Actually, he has only have to trash one card from hand because he was supposed to remove a core when he swung with the Bearded Eagle. And so, since we're doing that, we go ahead and trash. And there's the Palamedes. That's also one that's no longer in the deck, which removes the Bearded Eagle, and that stops us from losing there. And he cannot attack with Dino Man because of the Bloody Rain effect. And he's realizing he took 2 lives, so he was getting 2 draws, and we'll go ahead and let him take that because it's locals. We're trying to have fun, be casual. We're down to 1 life, so we really need to find something here. We core up our spirits. We need something else on board. So it looks like, oh, here comes the King Snake. This will actually come in clutch for us. Okay, we can pull back a Cursed Spirit from the trash. I don't know if there is one in there. Maybe we just missed it. I was definitely running less Cursed Spirits in this early build. I think I run a few more now. I actually didn't run any Dragonaga Assassins, which seems like blasphemy. So here's the Devilish Prankster Imp. Now here we are sitting in a good situation because we can swing with the Quetzalcoatl Snake. His level 3 effect will destroy something that only has 1 core on it. So I think the best play here is to swing with the Snake. Let it destroy Dino Man so he has no blockers. So swing Snake, yep, and we take Dino Man out. He's deciding if he's going to flash. If he has something to flash with, and he takes that from life. We swing in with our Cavalier, which is a Shadow Spirit. And here we see the Volcanic Break come down. Volcanic Break will destroy that Shadow Spirit, which is the right play because the Shadow Spirit would have removed something else, and he just concedes there, realizes he can't destroy my other attacks coming in. So here we are going into game 2. Very, very close one. Game 1, we just barely... The Bloody Rain actually came in clutch. I know not a lot of purple decks play Bloody Rain, but I think it has a good matchup to some red aggro stuff, because they typically, even white aggro, a lot of the aggro decks don't put too many cores on their spirits. So Bloody Rain can save you in that instance. We didn't see our Ice Wall, but... or Ice Shield, I should say. We didn't see our Absolute Ice Shield, but we did. That Bloody Rain came in clutch. So they start off with the Flamefish. Great card. I think it's very splashable. I like to run it with my yellow decks. I have not teched it into my purples yet. And so we like to start off with that Cavalier to get us a card draw, but it just gives our opponent 2 card draws off of that. So our card draw advantage isn't much since our opponent gets more advantage out of our own play. So that's an interesting little interaction there. He sets a burst. We've already set a burst, and here we see the Cornered Flame Rat, and he puts the 3 cores on it to get the level 2 effect, so that way when it takes a life, he gets to draw a card. Red's got so much draw power, so we take the life, he gets to draw the card. Game 1, he had the draw power from his Nexuses. Here we're seeing it from his Spirits, and of course the Starbless Draw. The magic draw power is really, really good in red. So we're back to our turn. We've got our draw, core, refresh, and here we go. He still has the Flamefish aboard, but the Flamefish only has 1 core on it. So if we can find a way to remove a core, and it looks like we play the Camelot Knight and core that up. And then we decide to pay for the core drain And here I think that is a mistake. Yeah, that is a mistake because Core Drain targets the exhausted spirits to remove 3 cores, and instead that the Flamefish was not exhausted. So they should have popped the Flame Rat, not the Flame Fish. So apologies for that. Looks like there's a misplay there. Apologize for that. Hopefully that doesn't greatly impact what comes of this game. So we see the Aglavale come down. We got our Curse Spirit out. And we should move the core from a Camelot Knight because Aglavale needs it more. Camelot Knight is not going to be blocked by anything, so we don't need Curse in this instance. But Aglavale could benefit from it, so that way when he dies with the Soul Core on it, we get to draw a card, and that looks like exactly what we did. That's the mentality there. You don't need the Soul Core on Camelot Knight if you're not going against something that may try to block you. Soul Core does not need to always be on Camelot Knight. You only need Curse if you're anticipating a block or if they need to block you. And here we see a Burning Force. Burning Force is going to take our Camelot Knight and the Aglavale anyway, but good thing we moved that core to Aglavale because that gives us a card draw, and we decided to stay. I want to say Cavalier is probably my favorite spirit to just... 1, it's card draw, and 2, it's with 2 cores, I believe. It's already at 4,000, so it's a good spirit to stick on the board and just stay for some blocks so that little spirits don't come in and try to chip damage you. Like Rain Needle's going to need 3 cores on it to get past, or to trade with my Cavalier, I should say. Rain Needle only got 1 core on it right now. Oh, because he's going for the Dino Man. Dino Man is one that will definitely, as long as he doesn't play another spirit, will definitely be big enough to get around my Cavalier there. But he decides just to leave it without attacking. I guess he doesn't want to give me any extra cores here. So we draw refresh, or draw a core refresh, and we bring down the Shield Knight Gardener. Again, one that it's a decent spirit because it is a low cost, so it helps get the aggro game going. But and then we see the Mamira come down, so we can remove the core from Rain Needle and destroy Rain Needle that way. I'm guessing he didn't have enough cores to protect it. And we swing with the Gardener, and it does not get blocked, which is good. That's what we want. Gardener is one of those that you don't want him to be blocked. You want to attack with him, and that way your defending units can unsuspend yours. So here we does block the Mamira. It doesn't trigger the Gardener though, because again it has to be on your opponent's attack step. So good position. We leave the Cavalier up so that way if we do block and get destroyed, Gardener will refresh itself and we have potentially 2 blocks. And here he goes with the Volcanic Break again to get rid of our Cavalier. Those Volcanic Breaks, pretty good. Everybody talks about Burning Force, and Burning Force is a great red removal card. But Volcanic Break, with the potential to remove something up to 6,000, is definitely a very strong focus removal. And here he decides to go with Scorched Battlefield because his board state is completely reset, so he's got to get something up. Even with the reset board state, he's not that much of a disadvantage. We both have the same amount of life. I only have 1 spirit on board, so he's not that far behind and actually can catch up pretty fast here with able to get the Nexus and a spirit out. And he just has to decide if he wants to go ahead and attack in or if he's going to leave it up to defend. Looks like he's opting to defend, so we draw a step, core step, and refresh. And our hand size is pretty bad. I think we only have 4 cards in hand, so we definitely need to see some more draws. Really wish I had seen my Nexuses. I think the Netherworld Depths were such a good Nexus, but hasn't come down. So here we get Aglavale. Aglavale comes down. That could potentially give us some card draw, depending on how it goes. Although he likely won't defend. We decide to core up Gardener. We were about to attack, and then we decided, hold on, we don't want to go into attack step yet. We're deciding how we want to play this next turn out. Before we go into attack step, and really the smart thing would be to swing in with Gardener, hope it doesn't get blocked, and then we can swing with Aglavale. But no, we go ahead and go with Aglavale, we chip the life, and then we pass turn, I believe. Yep. So we're leaving the Shield Knight out, the Gardener out to block, which is interesting. Here he drops the Volcanic Canyon now. Now he's got his 2 Nexuses on board, so that's going to really help him with some stuff. And here we see the Nebula Dragon Andromeda come down. There are 2 Nebula Dragons. There's regular Nebula Dragon, and then there's Nebula Dragon Andromeda. So Andromeda comes down. He gets to select one of my spirits to destroy it. So he's just asking about the effects and what he wants to target, what their BPs are at, because he doesn't have a Nexus to destroy with that effect, but he can select one of mine, and he goes for the Gardener. And then just his turn. He has decided to chip up my life. I guess he doesn't want to give me too many cores to work with. He's trying to, I guess, core choke me in a sense. 43, and we drop the Mordred, which isn't gonna. It's kind of a sad Mordred because there's nothing exhausted to remove cores from, so we don't have to worry about that. He doesn't have to worry about that, I should say. And it looks like we only have maybe 2 or 3 cards left in hand, so this is a rough one. We go ahead and core up. And here's the tricky part: is we need another core to core up Mordred, but we need at least 2 on Aglavel to give him Curse. And we decide to keep it. We go ahead and swing with Aglavel, so he has to decide whether to trade with me or to let it through. And he just decides to take it from life, triggering Absolute Ice Shield and paying the 4 from his Eagle and his Andromeda. Interesting. I don't think he necessarily had to pay to end my turn, but that does end my turn, so he is back on board. Core step, refresh. Andromeda's already done its thing, so here he goes coring it up because he knows that it's not safe to leave it with so few cores. It needs definitely more than 1, because that Mordred is going to swing and remove 1 core. So here we see the Dino Man come down. And it's kind of an interesting situation because with nothing else on board, Dino Man, if there's only 1 other spirit on board, you technically only need 1 core on Dino Man because he'll go to level 3 anyway. We block with Mordred here. And, but Dino Man still needs to keep cores because purple does purple things. So here we got our draw, core, refresh, and looks like we do have a Deadly Balance in hand, so this is interesting. We can go for a slightly more defensive play, but I think we decide to go, yep, there's the Dread Knight Nemesis, and we do core it up. And so here's an interesting little combo with Dread Knight. If he's level 2, you can Deadly Balance to basically loop it so that Deadly Balance, you target the Nemesis to basically kill 2 spirits on board. So here he decides to Burning Force my poor little Aglavel, but it'll get us a card draw for that. The hope was that Aglavel would live so that we could swing, pop it with Nemesis to draw 2, we'll draw 3, and then Deadly Balance on the following turn. But I think we decide that we need to go for full board control here. I think it's a tricky setup situation here. But yeah, we decide to swing in. He takes it from life. We decide not to pop anything because we're going to wait to do it till next turn to kind of stop his aggressive push next turn. I think he's really low on hand size, surprisingly enough. I think he's down to two cards in hand, maybe 3. So he's kind of hurting for the draws. Oh, he's only got 1 card in hand. Interesting. So yeah, I think that's what we noticed, that his hand size is really low, so we don't have to worry about too many attacks coming in, and we can use this turn to kind of ruin his board state. So here he's going ahead and coring them up, making sure they're nice and beefy boys, but he's just feeding the beefy boys to our combo here. He only has 1 card in hand, so he doesn't play anything. So here we go, and we decide to, we're just double checking our effects. And sure enough, this is how we remove his board. With this little Nemesis Deadly Balance kind of combo, little loop here. So first we, in our flash step, we trigger that deadly balance. Paying 2 cores from our reserve. Tell him he's got to target 1, and then once that's done, then Nemesis's when destroyed effect forces him to just choose another spirit on board. And here we go, clearing his board. He only has 1 card in hand. So it's going to be very, very hard for him to come back. And we draw a core, and we just have to start dropping spirits on the board and hope to go white enough to end it here. So we get the Gardener out. And then because we don't have much cards in hand, luckily we have enough cores to drop a second Nemesis, but that's all we need. We only need 2 spirits to go for game. He only has 1 card in hand, and he concedes here because he has no way to stop me or block me, or to remove any of my... So purple takes a tournament. Great tournament. Had a lot of fun. Loved playing purple. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. Hope to see you in the next one.